Hey guys, and welcome back. I am Sam Crack, and today I wanted to let you guys know about a major security flaw that could potentially reveal your high bid to anybody when it comes to bidding on a car at the dealer auction, specifically the salvage auctions like Copart and IAAI. To begin, I want to clarify what a broker is and why you use a broker. I've got that question a million times in my email, so I think it's important for you to know. Basically, a broker assists an individual like myself or like many of you out there in a state where it's against the law as an individual to purchase a car from the auction. So the broker basically has a dealer license and they act as a dealer in purchasing the car and then selling it to you for a fee. So, for example, the broker I use charges me about $250 to buy any car from auction. The car could cost $100, it could cost $5,000. I get charged $250. Now that's on Copart. The broker I've used on IAAI charges a percentage. To further that, a lot of people have written me and said, hey, I found this car on Dash Hub, or I found this car on eRepairables. Those are all brokers. They're displaying the same cars that Copart might sell, but basically they're just acting as a broker. So they're showing you the car on their site, and then you can bid on it through their site. They then go and place that bid at Copart, at IAAI, whatever auction they're showing. And that's kind of where the security flaw lies. So please do realize when you're looking at a site like Dash Hub, like eRepairables, like Auto Bidmaster, they do show the same cars that Copart has, but all they are doing is showcasing the cars. Don't get that confused with the actual auction house, which is likely Copart. Now, the next thing you'll need to understand the security flaw is how the bidding process works on both Copart and IAAI. You see, when you put in a bid, say the car is at $0 and it was just listed, and you're putting in a pre-bid, you could put in a bid for $10,000, but the car will only go up to the minimum bid increment. In this case, we're going to use $100. I've seen $50 and I've seen $100. There might be other increments, but for right now, let's just use $50 and $100 because they're easy. Say that you bid on a car that is $0 currently and it's going to be sold in 2 weeks from now, and you bid $10,000. Both Copart and IAAI are going to show the bid at $100 because in our example, the minimum bid increment is just $100. Now, if somebody comes in and bids $500 or $5,000, you will still own the maximum bid at $10,000. It's not until they outbid you any number over $10,000 that you become no longer the highest bidder. So I know that might sound confusing. Go back, play that back so you understand. If not, it's basically the same way eBay functions. eBay will allow you to bid $1 million on an item, but it will only go up by the minimum bid increment, which could be $1 or $10. So you can potentially actually get the auction for less than the highest bid you put in. And that's important because sometimes we come up with a lofty price in our mind and we say, okay, I think I might bid $10,000 on that car, but it might only sell for $7,000 or $8,000. It happens all the time. It's happened to me. I'm sure it's happened to you, even if it's not to do with the salvage vehicle auction, it might just be eBay. You've experienced that, and it always feels much better to win it at a lower price, obviously, but also what it will do is sometimes snap you back into reality. The way I just explained how the bidding works and the price increments work are through directly bidding on IAAI and Copart. Now, if you're not using a broker and you're bidding directly on Copart's site or IAAI site, you don't have to worry about it. But if you're using a broker, even if the broker gives you a username and password to bid directly on Copart and IAAI, which some do, they can see your maximum bid. And the problem lies within their interface, their website. Let's take, for example, Dash Hub. When you go to Dash Hub, it gives you the ability to place a bid on their site. Now, like I said, when you place a bid on their site, all they're doing is taking that bid and going on Copart, and they're going to bid that same price for you. But the problem is on their site, the bidding doesn't work like I just explained. It works like Storage Wars, where basically a guy could bid $100 and the next guy could come in and try and overthrow him and say $500. Well, it's going to show $500 the second you bid $500. If you do $10,000, it's going to show $10,000. So anybody, and a lot of times you don't even need a username or login, and even if you do, they're free at most of these brokers. They just charge you when you win a car. Anybody can go to the site, type in the specific car, specifically the dealer selling that car, and say, all right, Dash Hub is one of the more popular brokers. I know I get emails asking about what I think about Dash Hub all the time, so most people must be familiar with them. And they go to the Dash Hub website, they say, well, look, somebody's already bid $8,000 on our car. However, our auction's only up to $4,000. What they can then do is place a shill bid, and a shill bid is illegal. But the problem is with shill bidding is rarely people get caught shill bidding. So it happens all the time. But you can shill bid up to the amount that we already know somebody owns the bid, and they will end up winning it at that price because your high bid has already been exposed through the broker's site.
Now, to give you guys an exact example of what I'm talking about, here I have a 2013 Fiat 500 up on Dash Hub's website. Now, the current bid for this car is $940, and that is through Dash Hub only. So say that somebody using another broker has a bid of $2,000 on this Fiat 500, that would actually be a higher bid, of course. But let me show you, here's the same Fiat 500 on Copart. And again, I want to reiterate, Dash Hub here, this is just a broker. They're just showcasing the vehicle on their site and allowing you to bid through their site. Do not confuse Dash Hub, the broker, with Copart, who is the auction house. The pictures are identical. The information is identical. What I don't like about Dash Hub is right here. Why do they block out the VIN? It's like they don't want you Google searching it and finding it on Copart's site. I'm going to do a comprehensive video on brokers and nonsense like this later, but let's get back to the security flaw. This $940 is from a Dash Hub member. Let's go back to Copart's site and look. The current bid is at $0, meaning nobody through Copart directly has bid anything on this car yet. That doesn't mean the car is going to go for this much. All it means is that people are waiting till the end to bid. Most people wait till the end to bid on these auctions. But if this auction starts at $0, somebody already knows, well, we've got somebody on the hook to pay $940 for it. So you can go back here. The bid increment, like I was talking about, this is the minimum bid increment. It's actually $80 for this car specifically. So while somebody could theoretically win this car for less, and again, it's still early. This car is selling in 18 hours. So in less than a day, tomorrow sometime this car will go. That's a ton of time to get this car up to a few $1,000s, whatever it's going to sell for. It's a cheap car. It's not going to sell for a lot. And I didn't really look at it, but it looks like it could have been doctored up. I don't like this damage like this in the front. Well, there are no airbags. Anyway, forget the car. We're talking about just the flaw, and that is clearly a major flaw. We know this car is good for at least $940 through Dash Hub, but on Copart, it's at $0. Be careful and make sure you never pre-bid on a broker's site until, of course, they fix this flaw.
Now you might wonder why I pre-bid, and on certain cars in the past I've pre-bid if I wasn't going to be around for the auction or I just wanted to keep a disciplined number. I go ahead and I pre-bid, but on cars that I'm really more interested in and know will go for a higher amount, I usually stick around for the auction. The Money Pit Jetta I won as a pre-bid, and actually I didn't win it, but that's a long story I'll tell later. And the S3 were the only two cars that I did not bid on at live auction, and I won them just by putting in a pre-bid, kind of setting it and forgetting it, finding out later, hey, you actually won this car. Now that you know about the security flaw, I'm going to tell you exactly how to get around it. Instead of going on the broker site and bidding through them, call the broker up and tell them, I want a bid of $1,000 placed on this auction number, and I want it done during the live auction. I do not want a pre-bid put in. Let them know you insist on having it done during the live auction, and make the rules explicit. I've actually used a broker in the past, and I told them I wanted to bid a certain amount, and I didn't explicitly say I want it done during live auction. They went in 2 minutes later, put that pre-bid in. Most of the times, it is a wiser decision to put in a bid during the live auction.
To give you one more quick example, here's a 2015 Mercedes GLA 250. Dash Hub even has it marked wrong, a GLK 250. I don't know if they manually put these in or what. That doesn't matter. The current bid is $8,360. It says the live auction starts in 4 hours. If we go to Copart's site, the live auction is actually right now. So not only is the broker giving you not up-to-date information, apparently, it is telling us that the live auction is right now as I'm recording this. So just so you know, this is for sale by the insurance company. The insurance company should have no reason to try and scheme anything. However, right here, the starting bid is going to be $7,600. That's the maximum pre-bid through Copart. But we know that on Dash Hub, somebody's bid $8,360. This has, what doesn't tell us here because it's going to auction, but basically we know that somebody is interested in this car over the $7,600 up to $8,360 using Dash Hub's site. So here's another example of how someone's high bid is completely exposed to me. Now, if you have any questions about this flaw or anything I've said in this video, please be sure to email me or write me on Instagram. All of my contact information is in the description box below. If you feel that you learned something in this video, please definitely hit that like button. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll catch you very soon.